Okay.
Doctor, let me know when Taffy's off, then I'll tune back in. I'd rather chew glass than listen to him. So thank you, Frank. Thank you for being a little bit of a polemic lightning bolt here. It's good times. I appreciate you being back.
It's good to see you, Dr. Drew.
You're living on HLN right now, but Frank, I'm going to ask you to sit tight because I noticed that as soon as you came up on our panel, yeah, it's awesome, isn't it? My panel started quivering. Miss Ali, you had something you want to say right away?
Yeah, no, I'm glad we have him on here. I'm glad we have Frank on here. We need people like Frank on television so that a lot of my people can see that they're not paranoid unjustifiably. This type of white man does exist. And it doesn't matter if the last 7 burglaries were done by black males, the last 2,000 lynchings were done by white males. But you all wouldn't want me to say that all white men are lynchers.
Anybody?
But you said that, Miss Ali. You said that last week when I was on the show, that all white. You compared, I think, the Trayvon Martin trial, the Zimmerman trial to white lynching.
Wait a minute.
Excuse me.
Is that conservative OreoChick.com talking?
Hold on.
To whites.
I want you all to be aware of something. Everybody, I have the ability to turn your mics off. So if you guys get out of hand, I will just one by one shut your mics off until you guys behave yourself, okay? So don't talk over each other. Michael is being such a good boy today. I'm going to go to Michael. Hang on, Frank. Michael, go ahead.
Oh, that's very kind of you. I would say this about my good friend Frank Taffy. You know, you are who you surround yourself with. And if Frank Taffy is such a good friend to George Zimmerman, then we have to wonder what kind of person George Zimmerman is. And if Frank Taffy is going to come on television every single night and make insensitive and semi-racist comments, and we have to wonder what kind of person George Zimmerman is.
By the state of Florida,
hang on, Frank, go.
scheme team, and listen, this was all prefaced. Let me share this with you. This entire case was prefaced over the fact that there was no probable cause. And Mark, you could jump in here and talk about probable cause anytime you want. I'll let you have it. But here's the deal. When George was taken down and Bill Lee said there was no probable cause, they took it to the state attorney. And that's where the rubber meets the road. Norman Wolfinger, with 27 years plus experience, said there was no probable cause. And it wasn't until Mr. Benjamin Crump wrote a letter to the Department of Justice seeking more information. It wasn't until Angela Corey was assigned to this, then all of a sudden, my friend George, who's been maliciously prosecuted, and y'all need to jump on the Taffy train, because guess what? That other train's leaving town. Better get on board now.
Go ahead.
Let me get back to
I want to
Frank.
say something.
Frank, excuse me. I'm going to say something. Can I say something,
yes, Crystal,
please? I've
go,
waited
please.
patiently.
Go right ahead.
So, Frank, I agree with you, Frank.
Crystal.
Frank, can I talk, please?
Yep.
Frank, I agree with you. The fact that you have a type of person doing burglaries in a neighborhood and they all happen to be black suspects is something that the police talk about all the time. The first question I get asked, or my neighbors get asked, when we file a police report and call 911, what does the suspect look like? And the fact is, Miss Ali, Frank didn't say all black men are going around killing. He talked about a specific incident that you had a preponderance of black men in a neighborhood. And the fact is, Miss Ali, more blacks, excuse me, Miss Ali, more blacks are killing and more blacks are killing and are in prison than any other race. So I'm sorry you don't like that. We need to be talking about the root problem of what's causing this. And nobody's talking about what happened in Chicago last week. 62 Excuse me, 62 people were killed in Chicago last week from Wednesday to Sunday. Where's your outrage, Miss Ali? Most of them are black.
That's not
200
true.
murders.
That's
Senator
not
Ron
true.
Kirk of
Wait a minute.
Illinois,
That's
it
not
is
true.
very true.
Okay, Crystal, hang on. Let's go
It
to
is
Miss Ali is
very
next.
true.
Miss Ali, then Michael.
True.
Miss
Yeah.
Ali, go ahead.
Where's the
This
outrage?
statement is
I don't see any
specific-
outrage
this
from you guys
statement-
on that.
I have talked about this before, but this statement is specifically for conservativeoreochick.com. I have already been talking about the condition of black men and what has been happening in our communities.
Unbelievable.
And it's sisters like you that come out here and pretend to be white because you think it's going to get you points with them.
I
that
am
you
not
try to
your
take their
sister. I
side,
will never
even
be
though
your
it's about
sister.
us.
Don't
You
ever call
absolutely
me
are
your
not.
sister.
Telling it like it is, Miss Ali.
And Dr.
She's
Drew,
telling it
I
like
can't
it
believe you're going to
is.
let her say, call me an Oreo
she's
and
telling me like you want to
Well,
hear it.
she's
telling me like
how
you
would you
want
like me to
hear it.
correct that,
Hey.
Crystal? Is there something we need to do to make that
I think
okay?
you should stop it, and it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable
Miss Ali,
behavior.
I
It's like
agree with
me
you.
calling you a bad
No, I agree with you.
Okay?
I absolutely agree with you, and I
Unacceptable.
apologize. I completely agree with you, and I apologize,
Hey,
Miss
leave
Ali.
He's in the jar.
Frank,
But Dr. Drew,
Frank, go ahead. You got
Dr.
it.
Drew, Dr. Drew,
Well,
let me
I
get back
just
to the
wanna share
facts.
one
Frank, Frank, go.
Let's talk about probable cause in the state. It's not, look, the burden of proof is on the state. And until they disprove self-defense beyond a reasonable doubt, the jury must conclude that George Zimmerman acted in self-defense.
Okay, Frank.
Whether it's the charge of murder too,
Frank.
or even a lesser charge
Frank,
of manslaughter.
Here's the
Yes,
deal.
Dr. Drew.
You're being very rational. You're talking about the courtroom, but clearly this case, and it's the subtext of, no one's really talking about it. It
I
spills
know,
into so
but
many
we can
areas.
we can go off.
I understand that,
No,
but the
you want
fact
to talk about hoodies?
listen, I'm
Skittles?
going to.
You all
I'm
want to talk
going
about
to.
hoodies and Skittles?
No, I'm going to talk about how we
Why don't you
assess
cut
one
his mic
another
off?
and hang. I will, trust me. But here's the deal: we're going to go to break. I want to sincerely apologize if Crystal was upset with the words that were passed back and forth.
I was upset.
It was not appropriate, Frank. They were not directed at you. You guys all play nice in the sandbox here. You guys are doing fine. We'll reconvene this panel in just a second. All right? We all good? Crystal, are you whole? That's my question.
I'm going to go eat an Oreo cookie.
Okay, fair
How about
enough. All right, back more with Frank
That's
Taffy.
good.
I'm going to have some animal crackers.
And later,
I'm not apologizing.
All right.
hang on, bad boys.